say, he's not gonna go to State Farm.
Oh, no, I just pulled that out.
And
because
that's
it was the
your
first
job to contact State Farm.
State Farm doesn't do this.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. I already contacted State Farm 3 years ago.
What do you mean they don't?
They-
She means condominium.
They don't do condominium insurance.
Well, then they quit because they got it in Charleston.
I called an agent here, I can't
Yeah.
remember which one it was, and he said they didn't do
State Farm
condominiums.
is a national insurance company.
Oh, I know
does
they are,
cover.
that's who I've got all my liability
Yeah.
insurance.
Maybe he knew it was Point Arcadian, so he knows.
Yeah.
He was letting me down.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, we
Well,
have an
wait a minute,
agent,
I'm
he's gonna
worried.
be looking.
I'm worried that my insurance is through. for
You,
my
you have
daughter.
individual insurance.
Yeah, but I.
We're talking
just
about for the whole
someone asked,
Yeah.
Elaine,
What?
I have individual insurance with State. Farm.
Yeah, I do too.
And that's.
When I
great.
said condominium insurance, I didn't mean individual condominiums, I meant
Oh, okay.
the whole, the umbrella
Did you write this
policy,
You
the
did the
umbrella
letter.
policy that covers the entire unit.
Did you write this, Sophie?
Yes,
That's nice.
Okay,
that's
I
how I
To-
go
didn't
by.
get to see it.
to put
Okay,
the,
you
pro-
got- that's a hundred and-
to try to put, there are two people that I'm aware of that have an issue about the cable.
2.5.
Who's-
Joe, right, Eagle.
Yeah, Evelyn, she's come around and she said, okay, I'm good. And I
Now, well, what
think,
she's done is stop doing the deduction, but she's not going back and paying
right,
historical.
there is no resolution to this. There's no way to, we've got 2.5 people who are writing about $10,000 at this place. And they're all writing this issue about, I'm not gonna pay for the cable stuff, arrears. And my position is, I can't make any headway with making a compromise about it. It's unfair to the 97 people here that have paid to allow 3 people not to pay. That's a big issue on the minds of people like Richard McPhail, who pays his regime fees. And mine too. I don't wanna
It
carry.
sucks our time as well,
Huh?
to deal with it, really sucks our time away from focusing on other things. So,
Exactly, and I only have.
Well, that's the way I feel
Okay,
too.
well, let me finish. The only resolve I see to this is let Judge Newsom make a ruling on it and abide by it.
And to be clear, because we've done this with other people, we'll work with you to bring it down over time if that's an option as well. Like if you want a 6
Well,
month
she's
payment plan or
stated her
something.
case, she's willing to go to court, and I don't see why.
Here is my suggestion, okay? You get it home on $1,000. I know it's a lot to ask, but it's a one time.
What now?
Keep going.
Okay, let
See
me
where you're
finish.
going.
Because you cut off all the sun and then direct our lives. We don't have to pay about cable anymore. You get it home on $1,000, which 90% of that already owed, including me. You know, they
Am
owe.
I hearing her, she wants the HOA to give each homeowner $1,000?
Yeah, that goes to review fee, and you don't pay them, but you go collect into the account. Then you don't have to go to jail. We sit those people, and I guarantee the homeowner will learn to check you again.
Trust me,
Yeah.
never
Check
trust
the
a
book.
man.
Well, that's up to you, but the way I suggest it is, see, they reject them through the money, didn't use where they
I
supposed to.
consider myself one of the most well-informed HOA men on the planet.
Yes, and I also
And
learned
I
that
also think that I am
you try to talk over me.
that's right, because we've got to
See,
draw,
when it,
this conversation never has an end.
well, I tell you what,
It doesn't ever have an end. And you're 2.5 people that resist the whole idea of
Giving
that
everybody
cable
$1,000
thing.
to end the issue, is that it? Basically,
you see, just like you do here to save the money for, you right now, the money we save from.
we're not
cable.
saving money from the cable, that money went to other things.
We're not saving money.
Yeah, because you don't pay them, that money you save, that's what for.
You were forgoing,
You understand, you cut the cable off, right?
So
Okay.
the $29 that isn't being paid, that $29 is now going to the insurance.
Okay, now how much will you willing to settle that? think about it, you don't have to answer right now,
Do
but
you
you
mean
can.
settle what we owe Spectrum?
Yeah, I mean, you will pay the Spectrum yet, or still?
No, we haven't paid Spectrum yet.
You see, when you in a board, you're supposed to take care of the negotiation, and take care of that, you didn't take care of that.
I'm a
We're still-
lawyer, and
We don't,
my hobby
we
is.
vote
hang on.
money for.
My
doing the
hobby is
pen-
being a lawyer, and.
No,
here's-
you
it's
let
not-
me, I let you talk, let me talk,
All right,
okay? We vote for money to paint the back of the condo and doing all that. And then you decide to work, do the TIDs, and then you don't even start the work on that one, on the plan. You start cutting the tree, and to make the wood I hear tonight, it makes my heart fall, because I love trees. You don't understand in a onward.
do you love trees in your front yard?
I was so glad that you cut my eyes.
Okay,
Can
see-
I adjust a few things for what you just said? So,
You know,
And who got it done?
the perspective on the trees is if they're causing problems, they have to go. So it's
yes,
not
but we don't vote on
anti-tree.
that. See?
But that's where we would like homeowners to come in and voice their
Yeah,
opinion.
but that's because I meet the board meeting, but next thing I know, two of my fucking tree go, I told my neighbor, and just two of my children.
As much as I try to respect everybody's position, but this HOA is a democracy. And the majority of the people rule. This is not a Biden stolen election. We're gonna be fair here.
You don't know what fair means, let's put it that way.
And this man here, I'm gonna protect him. He may make my life miserable, but he has certain rights, and it's my duty and theirs to do the things that protect these buildings and these homes here. This lady right here, she was under a lot of possibility the tree's gonna come down in her yard.
I
You
saw
too.
her tree,
I know.
I understand that.
And I believe for
All right,
your
Richard,
tree,
what-
you got a consultation from the tree guy who said that one was problematic. Like that you
Yeah,
didn't,
it's
you
not,
didn't just
Henry-
decide to take that one out.
I have to work for Henry, where Henry's put standards saying, you gotta register with the FA, whoever. And then we consult the arborists, the people, and then I have to deal with tree people who've had experience with pine trees falling into their homes.
Yeah, the tree, is two of my trees, the way I look at it, only need
Okay,
the tree.
Richard wants to have a comment, and then
Let
we'll
me-
move on
one
to Nicole.
comment really quick too. We did budget, now, we blew that budget, so I don't think it's gonna happen this year, but we did budget to start putting appropriate vegetation back onto the property for the stuff that's
Yeah.
removed. Stuff that is not gonna be problematic, like the pine trees are.
Yes.
And so
Mhm.
it's not a demolish everything, it's a getting rid of the problematic stuff and replacing it with non-problematic stuff,
Mhm.
which is gonna take 5, 10, 15 years to accomplish.
I'll be dead.
Richard,
Sorry, anyway.
Richard,
Richard, you have a comment?
A couple of them. One involves a tree right behind my house.
Where's Richard live?
next door to David.
What was wrong with your tree?
It's close.
It is, number one, close. Number two, has deadfall branches in it. And number three, needs to be removed.
I'm tired of waking up at 2:30 in the morning in my bed with a skinny woman, when I should be a joyride, thinking about this place. And you're right. You are right. And so
You
is
believe
Teresa.
that?
So is
Nice.
Teresa
That is
Wilson.
nice.
And so is Nicole, when they say, and we concur, that these trees are a liability. They could cost you your home. It's not like, that tree falls through your house, you're gonna be displaced. And the HOA
I'll move right here.
I know you think you got it out, but you don't, see? And it's my job to prevent those trees from falling in your house.
And as a lawyer,
Yes, I am a part-time lawyer,
a part-time lawyer,
not an attorney. The lawyer, there's a difference.
what's the difference?
Well, I can lawyer for my cause, but I'm not a registered bar,
You haven't passed the bar.
I haven't passed the bar. Attorney, South Carolina attorney is the one that's a member of the bar.
You're like Kim Kardashian.
I'm, what's the guy who used to be on TV, could fix anything,
Okay.
So, did you have something?
You know about the Forest Acres tree removal ordinance?
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Okay,
We abide by it.
okay.
do we?
All right, when I moved in here, when I was looking into purchasing my place, my real estate agent said, oh, and one of the greatest things that you're gonna really love is basic cable is included in your regime fees. Now, that's a real estate agent telling me this. Then I say, I want a copy of the bylaws and the master deeds. What did I do? I come in here, I talk to Tom Benucci. You know what Tom Benucci says? Not until you own the place.
Well, that's a good point, though.
No, it's not a good point.
Is it, well, from the standpoint of, you should be able to review, it's recommended by all real estate people, before you buy something, is to go over the documents. That's true.
So I looked at John Benucci and I said, if you don't provide me with a copy of the regime, of the bylaws and master deeds,
The documents,
then they're null and void for me. That's the law.
okay.
You have to provide that to somebody, a potential buyer, you have to provide that.
And I'm
I
inclined
don't
to,
think it's
I
done.
think that might be a violation of the law.
It is a violation of the law.
Nulls and voids of them.
no.
And the
You-
homeowners association does not, we don't provide them, we provide access
Access.
to them.
Well, now you do, but before then you did not.
He was denying you something that he shouldn't have.
That
denied.
should have come from the real estate agent, because I got it from the agent. I actually got the copy that the homeowner of 187 had before me. That was provided to me.
Okay.
Do you,
It was not provided ever to me.
Okay,
do you know
but
what?
that's not an HOA board responsibility.
That, the property
have any-
manager you had at the time that I purchased my place refused to give it to me until I owned the unit. So I told him, okay, none of this stuff applies to me because you didn't provide it ahead of time as the law states you need to do. So,
And Richard may have a point.
the other thing is this. When you change a bylaw, when you say, hey, we got all this extra money, let's provide everybody with basic cable television.
Didn't play out that way.
Wait a minute. You are required by law to register that with the Register of Deeds office.
It was not
And
a
you did
bylaw,
not do it.
It was not a change.
Nobody did it.
It was not a bylaw.
It was something that y'all decided to do, and you should have, in able to enforce it, you should have filed it with the Register of Deeds office, and you failed to do so.
We didn't register do we have to register the
Yes,
office that
you
we're-
do.
That we're cutting the lawn?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
not the
Yeah,
lawn.
that's what I was kind of thinking about is, there are things in the master deed that we are dictated to maintain, and then there are other things that we are not,
right.
are not stipulated, but we maintain anyway, and I don't think it's more, the bylaws are intended to mandate what we must do, and anything on top
So
of
if you
that-
got real estate agents saying, hey, one of the perks to buying this place is regime fees are
We
included.
don't have any real estate agents. We have nothing to do with the sales.
That's
of
what my
property.
real estate agent told me.
We have nothing to do with real estate agents. Your real estate agent wasn't educated.
That's what John Benucci told me.
Hold on. Do you, everybody in this room, what I find in my 57 years of working with HOA is a very fundamental word. It's called ineptness. You know what ineptness is? That means the people involved don't know what they're doing. Nobody in this room is skilled to be on the board of directors and run a business. Nobody. There are people that gain their success from running an HOA mostly through experience. Nobody is skilled in this. They didn't go to school for this. There is no school. John Benucci, well, listen, y'all would have a bunch of people here that I would have sent through.
John Benucci was a thief.
Yes, I know. No, I take that back. All right, we got, Nicole, let's talk about, Richard, we need to move on.
I'm sorry. I'm
Please
just-
don't be sorry.
I'm just trying to say,
Yeah.
when you make changes to the rules or the bylaws, then you have to register it with the Register of Deeds
I know.
office.
And that was not a change.
And that was not done.
And I know that. for this place and other HOAs, I'm aware of that.
We'll discuss.
That's why I don't put a lot of faith in amendments. And John, Mr. Cunningham, the man that I left this place because he said, Mr. Miller, you're just all wrong, and I was up against something I could never win, so I walked out, didn't want anything to do with this place. All I wanted was my $2,000 a month coming out of this place, and the other $10,000 to $12,000 I get out of other places.
Well, he told me he was a lawyer before he was a lawyer,
Who?
and
John?
no,
Oh,
Christopher Cunningham did.
Chris, he was a lawyer.
Oh, yeah?
There
Well,
was
why
no-
didn't he give me his bar number when I asked him for it? He was not a lawyer
okay,
at the
let's-
time.
Let's talk, we got 7 minutes.
Okay.
Nicole, let's talk briefly about this parking situation, and Richard, you'll be having interest in this. This place was never set up with designated, parking places on record. However, the documents state that each place is entitled to 2 places. And some of these places, I look at it, like Nicole's a prime example. Her place cannot have a parking place directly in front of her sidewalk or house or entry, you know? So there's a big, what has happened is, there's deals been made amongst the residents to change these parking places. And the board doesn't really even know what the agreement is. I don't have an objection to it as long as everybody's happy, but I spent an hour out there in front of Nicole's place. Her husband's going berserko. I got a lady out there who's screaming and they're pointing fingers. And, you know, it's a good thing they didn't have guns because,
I can give you a phone number to Speedy Boys
not, wait a minute.
Towing, and they will come out here and tow.
Yeah, but what we have got to, what we have got to do is, the whole issue just came to a point where I said, whoa, we need to look at this.
We need to figure out a layout and make it
Yes.
official.
And so Nicole is going to, because she's a talented woman, she's gonna draw up a little diagram and explain some of the agreements that we as the HOA don't have privy to.
I can give you a brief history now if you want.
It's too
We're not gonna
complicated.
decide.
Too complicated.
I wasn't coming for that, actually. You just reminded me that it was the 31st of the month, when you said, we have a meeting tonight. And I told you I wanted to start coming,
You need to come.
but then I missed a few months.
You know why they get into this? Richard gets to be in his mind about things that go on around here and gets bothered by it and files lawsuits. And I believe that coming to a meeting like this, that we can work out some of this before it ever gets to the courtroom.
I agree with you.
And it's a waste of time and a waste of money.
I agree, but that's not why I came tonight. I wasn't coming.
You want to sell some kosher chickens.
No.
That actually sounds really good.
You,
That sounds really good right now, some chicken.
Just
No,
remember, there is no better, a healthy condominium complex is the one where the people get in and knock it out.
I got people asking me like, why are you telling me about stuff now? Why didn't you tell me freaking 4 months ago? And it's like, well, why did you let the previous board run amok like how you did, not participate? And that's really
Right.
what I wanna see, is participation.
Are we gonna unmark parking spaces, or are we gonna keep parking spaces marked?
They're gonna be
Well-
marked, it's just, there's a particular section of the property that needs to be looked at and
Richard,
made
you-
official so that we resolve this dispute.
Yeah.
Because as long as the parking spaces are marked, we should put a sign up, towing enforced, at the gate.
It is up there, isn't it?
No,
No, this towing sign is here at the clubhouse.
it needs to be at the gate, at the entrance.
That's not a bad point.
Things have been changing too, like we just did the
It
fence
used to be at
repair,
the gate
so.
in that glass box, now the glass box is over here.
So we need a towing enforced sign at the gate, and Speedy Boys Towing will be out here in minutes
Okay, so.
and hook up to a vehicle with the guy sitting in the vehicle.
You have to be very careful, Richard, about towing people's cars.
If they park in my spot, it says 149, they're not supposed to be there.
I think it's a situation where you may have the right to tow someone, but it's very escalatory.
I don't care.
I know, it's okay.
Maybe
Oh,
better
yeah, you know how
served to
people lot
try a
of the people
different
that try
approach.
to repo your car. It's about the same thing. If it's getting towed out, they might think it's being repoed, and then they're kind of come out shooting.
Richard's suggestion, I think, if I'm clear, is we need to make a notice at the entrance.
Yes.
Yeah.
That,
Assign parking, towing enforced.
okay, there you go, there's a suggestion for you. That's not a bad suggestion.
No,
So you pay me a lot of money to work at this place.
Every
You do
time he
realize-
remind it.
You do realize that.
Well, you have some pretty decent lawyer skills, so.
Yeah, and I earn my money 3 times, so
I know,
just by taking people to court, I get money into this place.
just like
I
in
say-
2006.
Huge amounts of money on materials that you buy through my business accounts. So I more than earn my $20 a month.
Yes, you do.
Now, Richard got
Kind of speaking of this though, because I don't think we really addressed it, Sophie, is there anything more to talk about, or is it a situation where
you want us to forgive your money, is that right?
No,
Forgive what is on the record that you owe, you want it forgiven, is
No,
that?
I don't want that either, because like I say,
Do you wanna make a
So
compromise?
can you clarify what it is that you do want, because I'm not fully understanding.
I say that Felix, the homeowner, $8,000 or however the use things, should. Like, if you don't wanna go 1,000, you go to 500, like Andy said, remember Andy?
Andy wants $500 and he'll go back on the machine fee, I know that.
Okay, so that's the day I will drop, like, go with Andy. But don't accept this yet, because here why I suggest, you call to have emergency meeting homeowner, because that's what,
That ain't gonna happen.
no, because my proposal idea is for people, to test you and start to pay the green fee, if we come to settlement, you know what I mean? And they.
If we were to have a meeting and we had a
And let
quorum,
me finish.
okay.
It makes sense, because let Ellen say, before only few people, right? You doing the time before the table, cut off only few people, delay a month. Now all of a sudden, we drum up to 35%.
oh, no.
There are,
It did not start when we didn't have, are you saying that it started when we dropped the cable?
Yes.
Oh,
Part
no,
of that.
no.
Well,
No.
it was a long time coming, and I'm surprised Spectrum lasted as long as they did before they cut it off.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
before Tom, it
yeah.
just happened when Tom came on.
And we had already had this discussion at one of the annual meetings, Henry probably knows what year it was. We had already had a discussion at the annual meeting, and the general consensus was we would discontinue the cable as soon as we could.
well, we never vote on it.
Well,
You
it's
don't
also a
get to
thing,
vote on it.
it's also a
Yeah.
thing where we would have to vote on it to enter into a new contract, so we just
Yeah.
let the contract
No,
expire.
The way I look at it, even if you don't renew the contract, but you want to quit completely, you remember you tell me if you want to, we don't cut it off, Spectrum cut it off. I say,
We had a
yes,
hand
yes,
show,
yeah.
we had a hand showing
Yeah,
at that meeting.
hand show, but no, it didn't count.
Well, okay, but what I'm saying was the 80% were going, drop the
No.
cable.
The way you.
A lot of people aren't using it, and if we kept it, you know what we would be paying a month? And it's gonna go up in your regime.
You know how people, neighbor I talk to, the people, more people I talk to, they were resenting to cut off, and you say for 50 people raising hand or whatever. But the way I think it, if you have to vote on it, I wouldn't not have to be here today, and I have not be delay on the green fee. You know that?
We had
One
two
thing I wanna
people.
mention, too,
Two people.
Yeah, just me and Andy, right?
Right.
So,
Even
okay,
kind of.
like I say, I come to address what I need to, and thank for be patient and listen to me.
And
But-
so what your offer is, you want $500 like Andy,
Yes,
and then you'll pay up the rest.
but not just me now, for all the homeowner agree with it.
Okay.
All the
Oh, wait a minute,
homeowners.
agree, or
Yes,
you want them to be
because
paid?
That's the way I'm looking at it, because
Wait a minute,
it's selfish
I
of
wanna
me
be
for,
clear, is she?
Wait a minute, you want us to give every homeowner here $1,000?
no, I say, because the Andy asked for 500,
You want us to give every homeowner here $500?
yes.
We'll have to do a $500 assessment per unit.
Also, what I'll mention is, so two things. One is, we would have to have a quorum to vote,
Yeah.
to have to get into a new contract, we have not had a quorum in the
No,
last 2
we
years.
don't want the
Well, hang
contract.
on, let me finish, hang on.
Okay,
So, that means that whether we wanted to or didn't want to continue the cable, it was going to get cut off anyway.
I understand
Also,
that.
the contract was only, since September of last year, so there's only a 6-month gap.
They
You're
cut it
talking-
off 2nd of March.
Right, and it was gonna expire August 24th,
Mhm.
2021.
So you're talking $500, $500 is actually over what that
No.
6-month
No,
period
but
is.
here-
So
why?
Andy got $500, you're cutting off $500 of Andy's debt because he was.
That is what Andy's proposing, by the way.
But no, I'm asking a question. And you know, I love Andy's wine and I'm really still upset about him getting hit. You took off $500 off of Andy's debt.
No, he's proposing we take $500 off to settle.
We
that.
have not, the policy here that we all agreed on is, we're not gonna be cutting deals here.
Yeah.
Because this lady right here, and that man over there, they pay their regime fee.
Yeah, no, he does.
And $500 is a bad
He
deal.
was in jail and he's
And
paying
what they're
regime
going
fee.
to object to
No.
is
Yeah.
they don't want
Yeah,
us
it
giving you
was.
$500.
That's okay, I understand because that's their choice, okay?
I could use $500 if you wanna give it to me, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I love it.
$174 for
The
6
original
months
is the-
That
of
makes sense.
regime
because
fees,
see,
so for
Well-
Andy to ask for $500 to settle the matter is honestly a
Yeah.
slap in the face. Like,
You know, here's
I
something
still-
I tried to explain to Sophie, and David will understand this, I will understand this, because we're technology-oriented people, okay? For $15 a month, you can get the Android application for Spectrum, or you can get the iPhone application for Spectrum, and for one flat rate fee for Google Chromecast or Amazon Fire TV stick, which is not the $29 fee a month that you have to pay for your cable box now, okay? You can stream basic cable, or you can upgrade it for more money than $15 a month. You can stream basic cable from your iPhone, cell phone to your TV.
You don't know what they were going to charge for the video, you don't know that.
My opinion of the
I'm
Spectrum
sorry?
situation too is I think that they were ultimately ripping us.
Yeah, I can help you do
It was
that.
way too much money, they were
And-
not
and-
holding their end of the deal, they're supposed to give everybody a free,
Okay,
cable
once
box.
again, we're gonna limit the conversation on this cable business to an hour of the 2 hours that we're allocated. Now, here's the bottom line. We got 2 people who are resisting this. We can never come to an agreement in the negotiations and conversations. We're going to see Phil Newsom, and if he says, she's right, give her $500, give her $2,700,
Then
and
I
he's gonna
also
write
have
her.
thousand come.
And he's gonna write her a check, and it's gonna be over, and from that point on, she's going to be on schedule, and we're not
I've
going
been
to,
on schedule all that time.
we're not going to discuss this again, because there are more, you want your tree down.
Yes,
Okay, well, damn it, give them the pay.
it's a hazard.
I know it, I agree.
So
And
we're
the
gonna let
reason
Carl-
Joy's tree is not cut down is because they don't wanna comply.
And it's been a hazard since Dot was the property manager, and I sent her a picture of the tree limb that's gonna fall eventually.
Okay, you
Let's just go
know,
on.
at some point,
Can we
I'm
get
gonna
this
get
over with?
sick.
I have
Number one, sick of working with Point Arcadia, and number two, I'm gonna get sick health-wise, and I'm gonna die. So, whatever's done around this place needs to be done between now and December the 19th, because that's my anniversary date.
he keeps saying he's gonna leave, but I don't believe it.
Okay.
Well, you know, you can buy one of those little antennas and you can get free cable, right?
It's not free cable, I have them in all my.
It's free digital
Are you
television
gonna use a regular
broadcast.
antenna?
Yeah.
But then you get into issues where you're not supposed to
I
pay
want to read that.
Sure.
You don't
I
have
let
to,
them all
listen.
read earlier.
Okay.
Hey, I'll make a comment about antenna. Listen, I have a dozen of them. I have one on my big boat. Yes, do you know what you do here if you want 47 channels like I have? You take that antenna and you put it in your attic like he used to do those Wi-Fi things. In your attic. You don't have to put it on the outside the building. The best one to be bought is at Walmart for $50. I pick up 47 stations.
Yeah, and you don't pay a dime because
No.
FCC is required to stream them.
That's right.
And that's like the basic channels, right?
And you get some random ones too.
And yet, we were paying for it.
Yeah.
And
So
see,
basically,
everybody
you're
today owns Wi-Fi. They have Wi-Fi. Now, she may not, but everybody has Wi-Fi. That TV right there. This place here pays for Wi-Fi so that we can communicate with
You can't
everybody.
get telephone service from AT&T without Wi-Fi.
Well, that's what
They
I
don't,
do.
they don't
Yep.
do landlines
Yeah,
anymore.
I pay
Right.
$87 a month for Wi-Fi in the private line.
Yeah.
But that TV up there, that very expensive TV that I spent Richard's money on, you can
Thank you,
push.
Richard.
You're welcome.
You can push that button and you can stream a bunch of stuff in here, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice TV, but that's what everybody is today. They don't
And-
get cable. Cable's a dying thing.
Yeah, basic cable application is 15 a month.
5 years from now, we probably won't have any.
Exactly.
Now, and Spectrum's base rate right now for bulk accounts for apartment complexes is $90 a year.
You
A
can't
month.
get anything done in this complex.
Yep, that's the
because
key,
it is-
with box.
It is
What?
so,
That's the key, with box.
it is so
Well, they're
infested.
they're implanting stuff in the walls now, so you don't have to have a cable box.
Okay.
Charging a rental fee, I think.
This.
Yeah.
I'm not under a bulk, one of the new bulk
Y'all
accounts.
got bigger problems here. I'll tell you what they are. This HOA is infested with some very low-class investors.
Yes, it is.
That's
And
the problem.
I wish y'all would make a
I'll
bylaw.
listen to it. I wish y'all would.
I walked outside the K building that we keep talking about,
Yeah.
this little, I don't know, 11-year-old girl comes out and says, pussy ass bitch N-word, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
She's
Yeah.
what, 11?
something like that.
Um,
And I'm like, oh my gosh, am I hearing?
I wish there
You know,
would be,
Look around and I want
Over here, I'm always nervous that a kid is
Oh,
gonna
I'm
jump out
sorry.
between the cars.
Oh, yeah.
She-
I
a
agree.
bunch of
It gives me-
profanity.
It gives me
This
anxiety
little
every
11-year-old
time I
girl.
drive
Attorney
by.
Miller.
Every time I drive by.
Have you noticed the
I wish
infant
there
that's
would
out
be
there?
a rule
There's
that if
child
you are
abuse,
a
looks like
renter
he's 11
here,
months old and is
you
like-
must have a 10-day eviction notice for violation of HOA.
Little brother or something,
Oh, yeah,
and I'm like,
It's real,
Oh my gosh,
Richard,
you're
that
like
is
11.
a matter of,
what the heck?
what the HOA can do in the things like Airbnb is amend the documents to restrict short-term rental like Airbnb. And this HOA, the minimum time that you can lease is 90 days.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, that leaves you open to 90-day rental to traveling nurses. But the biggest problem I see of this place right now is it is infested with low-class investors. They go through, but it's self-perpetuating. They go in, they spend a whole lot of money on these places, like here, she spent $10,000 on it. They will put a family in there that will destroy it in 2 years.
Remember when you were voting for president? When you were wanting to become president and you were trying, and you said, I will have a quorum at the next HOA meeting.
And we did.
Okay, do that again.
I can't.
Why?
I think, I know, Elaine brought this up, and it's been on my mind ever since. I don't know whether the atmosphere the owners were in a case of, oh, this place is bad, I'll do anything.
They were desperate, they were so desperate, that's why people came.
And so I'm gonna trust Tom, and I'm gonna
The
go
people
on.
were I never saw Elizabeth Maxey come to a meeting,
And so,
she was desperate.
and then I got out and I talked to
Very
a lot
nice.
of people. And we got a 10% increase, and that's
But I
highly
didn't have a road, I
unusual.
become a holder,
But since
but
then,
I work on
People
it.
got complacent.
complacency is what is affecting the place. And all the, investors ride upon the group of people that's in this room right now. They don't want to come to meetings.
No, and they don't, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
Then
They
we
want
can
to
say
meet.
90 days and they have to comply with it once we file it.
But it's not perfect when they make up 47%.
And you
Whatever
can't
it is.
get anything done, Richard. I know listen,
I think
I
it's
didn't
actually
become
lower.
It
a
was up to like 40-something.
multi-millionaire
I
for
think we're
being
about
stupid
40
about
right now.
HOAs.
I'd have to go through
Right
roll
now,
again.
I'm
It's
getting
not
ready to block a $52,000 expenditure to do something to buildings that I don't think is necessary. When you gain control of the quorum, HOA, you're dead. You're dead. It belongs to the investors. This place is dead. It's dead, and I don't know how to change it, because
Sell the condo to the homeowner.
sell a condo
You
to.
do have a few investors that aren't completely rotten.
There are
Yes,
some.
we do, yes.
Come on, I mean,
It's not.
But then there are
Some-
homeowners that are completely
no,
rotten.
no, no, there
All
are
right,
some
now,
that
now,
are.
wait a minute, here's,
Right.
here's your issue.
No,
can't get
you're
quorum.
wrong.
You can't get quorum.
You said you would and you did.
That was for 1 year.
Well, why don't you try it again?
He tried this year and we still fell short.
I had people, I would tell people, you're going to come. I do stuff for you, you're going to come. She didn't come. Did you come?
And I didn't know what I had, so I didn't.
Did you come? You were here.
She was my,
You never come.
I never come, she was my,
You come
Proxy.
by
Yeah, see if
proxy.
we have a
Right.
proxy at least.
I don't care if you come by proxy or whether or not you're here, you care enough to participate.
yeah,
I don't care what your position is on things in HOA, but an HOA's survival or failure depends on the people coming and making a quorum. And you cannot resist regime fee increases forever.
Yeah. We are really low. Like,
Yeah.
what is probably what our regime should be
Do we?
on average?
Well, you have to base it on what other condominiums of its size does, but we are
Okay,
about.
my mother has a 2-bedroom and it's $350 a month.
I was thinking between 250 should be all right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what's it look
We
like?
don't
compared
have
to
that
this
caliber
place?
of place here.
You know, I mean,
But
you
we're
know,
at
sorry to tell you.
$150 average.
Yeah. If you look over at Point Cove, you know,
They're
If
paying
y'all
quite-
really
they're
wanna
paying quite a
include
bit
this
more.
place,
she's paying $240 a month.
Look at the people in
now.
this room.
And it looks a whole
Look
lot
at the
better than
people
my
who are
place.
here.
That's
They-
what I'm
they-
saying,
They actually
Wayne. You
care,
know, it's not even so much as what we
but
look
it's
like.
so minor, and so many people are absent.
so why don't you send a letter out to all these investors and say, the board of directors has made a new policy in place, and if you disagree with it, and you don't comply with it, and you disagree with it, you will show up at the homeowners association meeting.
I have a new investor who bought, Lazarus Place.
Okay.
I talked to him, he called, and he said, we didn't.
Oh, is this the other last?
Christian, Mark,
Okay, okay.
Brandon was the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah, because I was like,
Besides her.
she owns the.
Well, he very quickly in the conversation said, I have lawyers.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, that's fine because it tells you their attitude.
Okay.
It's their attitude.
But we already have a history of,
Mark is a new owner.
we already have a history of not following the bylaws.
Yes.
And that history is continuing to this day.
Bylaws, by the way, deal with the administration of an HOA, which is people at this table.
Right.
The master deed has more to do, it's a protection document that protects the homeowner.
Right.
Bylaws is the, documents that deal with procedure and maintenance
And you were talking earlier about going to the original master deeds.
Yeah.
The original master deeds from the 1970s, segregation was still going on.
Yes.
And you had to make changes to comply with the current laws.
Yeah, but
And that's what Chris Cunningham apparently tried to do.
This, I have not seen a whole lot of, this is one of the more well-written declarations that I've.
It is, but if you go back to the original one, it's in non-compliance with today's segregation, you
I
know.
haven't seen
Chris
that, Richard.
Cunningham, those things he was changing,
Yeah,
wasn't anything to do with complying with segregation laws.
it was. I looked at
It
it.
might have been by proxy, but I know his reasoning.
Ten-
That was
10-9.
not, that, I was
I've
gonna
been
say,
here
yes,
as
that
high.
was not his reasoning.
Henry is getting
It
old
was
like me.
strictly to
We don't
benefit
have the
himself
stamina to sit here and
on the
argue.
sale of.
Oh yeah,
his-
that I agree with
Right.
because of the red folder I have that
was
I don't
gonna
have,
say,
my mother
if
has.
If it did try to move it up into segregation laws, that was.
But he did,
accident, Not his intention.
he struck through those because he knew they were wrong in today's society.
Oh, he sat there and blatantly told me that I was wrong and I knew I was wrong.
His
You know I
reasoning
sued
for it,
this
though.
place. You know I sued this place.
In 2006, you sued this place and your defendant was Diane Fleming,
I ran them all
and the case was dismissed.
off. Yeah. Right. I also have sued
Dropped
two
it.
other HOAs, one enough money to, it benefited me to the tune of
You wanna hear the irony of this thing?
Meeting is adjourned.
You
This
wanna hear,
meeting is
you
adjourned.
wanna hear the real irony of it? I stood outside with two different people, and we stood here at the,
So Sophie, you can't come to a resolution then?
Honey, you know, I dropped down 50%.
Like I said, I just wanna make sure that,
Yeah,
you know, we're trying to
Julie,
buffer.
keep going, I'm trying to hear you.
and,
Well, baby, I can open it for you. There.
I stood out there in
We
the
still paying, right?
tennis court with,
You know.
with
We
two,
still paying, right?
Yeah, there's
no
no
way
way
on it, but
we're gonna have to resolve it one way or another.
with two different people.
Hey Henry, good seeing you. I hope you're doing well. Good seeing you. I hope you're doing well. Okay, I'm glad.
One old man.
Yeah, I don't see you walking a dog anymore, and I used to see you do that all the time. So I don't see much of you anymore.
Well, the dog went over the rainbow.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But it's good seeing you, Henry,
Yes, sir.
and I'm glad you're doing okay.
Because if not,
Still able to take care of it and work a little bit.
Yeah,
and that was it. All five complaints that we had were something that are really real today, and you lost. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's dismissed.
Elaine, can you get with me on your schedule and pencil me in for a visit, and I'll teach you some tricks and tips on how to stream and
Okay,
what to
Can
stream
we do
and
this in like 3 or 4 months?
that's what I said. Pencil me in your schedule.
Okay.
I'm disabled.
I
I'm
won't
free.
forget about it because my situation is I had to put my mother in
I understand.
assisted living.
I understand.
So I'm closing on her house. I've been spending all this time moving, and half of her stuff is now in my house, and half
I
of it's
understand. My mom's in the same boat when my grandfather died,
yeah. So it's
and some of
kind
that stuff is in my house.
yeah, and I don't even my TV's not working in the living room, and I mean it's just so far down the road. But I'm trying to get some renovations done and trying to get my life or that part of my life straightened out.
I
And I
understand.
would like to drop Spectrum, and I started streaming a couple of things,
Right.
but I just stream on my phone. I
Okay.
mean, I know I can cast to the TV, but
Yeah.
I don't. But yeah, I'd like to talk to you. I'd also
Right.
like to tell you that I think that you and the board, I think we can work together.
I try to. That's why I send you videos of homeowners violations.
Well, what I'm saying is, come to the meetings. I think we can work together on this, Richard.
Okay.
I mean, we need people to care. mean,
I care.
I know you do, and I do too, but it's like 7% of the people that are here don't really.
You know,
I mean,
I was
invest- I
upset
know-
when the cameras were taken away, but you know, I care.
Okay, that's good. I appreciate that. For some of us, this is like a home.
It is
I can't
mine.
afford to move anyplace
I plan on
else.
dying here.
Well, it's funny because it's actually what I said the day I closed. It's like the Undertaker's taking me out of this place. But I mean, I'm investing everything I've got in it. I want to have a nice place someday. So,
They diagnosed me with mild sleep apnea. They wanted to put me on a sleep apnea machine. You know what my reply to them was? I'd rather die in my sleep peacefully than die painfully. I don't want the machine.
you know, my ex-husband had a sleep apnea machine, and it really helped him.
I sleep in a hammock.
You what?
I sleep in a hammock.
So that allows you to sleep okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm in a Trendelenburg position in the hammock.
Okay.
So it keeps my blood
Well,
pressure
it's
down.
whatever works for you.
And there's no pressure points in a hammock. 0 pressure points whatsoever in a hammock.
I'd be afraid of falling out of it.
No, I got a 2-person hammock that supports 500 pounds.
Oh, okay. You have to do whatever works for you.
Right.
You know?
But pencil me in, let me know.
Okay, it'll be a matter of months, but yes, I'd like to.
Because I'm disabled, I'm almost always home unless my
Okay.
buddy Dwayne says, you're going fishing with me.
Well, that's good, you can go
You know,
fishing.
well,
Okay, I will.
he and I are both disabled. He and I were partners on an ambulance, volunteering because we loved it so much. It was my full-time paid job, and I loved it so much. I volunteered with the Batesburg-Leesville Rescue Squad just so I could work on an ambulance with my best friend Dwayne, who wasn't even an EMT. He was a first responder. So, and he needs a total knee replacement now. That's why he's disabled.
I need to clear up something with you because David
Yeah?
said, I said something that pissed you off, and I didn't mean to, and I don't know if it got misconstrued, but when I said to you, you shouldn't be putting things in the common area, but you need to do what you need to do, I was referring specifically to the conversation where you were saying, you want to call the police on whoever removed your ring sign from
Yeah.
the front. And that's all I was talking about. I wasn't talking about anything else. I mean, if you want to call the police about that, do it. I'm not giving you permission, but I'm just, because I can't stop you from doing it.
When I called Dwayne, because every time Dwayne and I ran an ambulance call together,
Yeah,
we would critique the call together.
okay.
So I called Dwayne. I said, hey, Dwayne, I'm pissed, man. My blood pressure's up. And it was.
Yeah,
And he said, what's wrong, buddy? And I said, man, I just got an email from Elaine Sharpshire, who's the vice president of the HOA, and she told me to do what I think I need to do, or something to that nature. So I just put up my handicap parking sign.
oh, and that wasn't what I was referring to. I was referring to the
And Dwayne
lighted
said,
up ring sign.
Dwayne saw the video of me and the woman that
Yeah.
wouldn't listen to me. And Dwayne heard the police officer who's not properly trained. And I have FOIA requested his body camera. I have FOIA requested his report. They're denying me the body camera, which they really can't do. So I'm just gonna wait till I get the report, see if the report jives. But the chief is looking at my body camera video footage of the incident and their body camera video footage of the evidence and comparing it to the report. Because I caught her lying to the cops. Because
Okay.
I told her, well, be at the board meeting at 6:30 tomorrow, and that's when we're going to handle this. And I'll be there, she said. And then I sent an email reminding everybody she's a renter,
Yeah,
not
she
an
can't-
owner.
she
She
can't-
can't come here. And I don't want to see her here either. Because, did you see her attitude towards me?
I was packing last night till midnight because the movers were coming this morning. I didn't watch any of the videos.
7 minutes and 20 seconds
Well, I'll have that.
for part one.
I'll have that. Can I wait till Wednesday?
You can, at
We
your time,
close-
at your
we
leisure.
close on Wednesday.
At your leisure.
Yeah, I clean the house all day tomorrow.
Did you ever get into Star Trek? Were you a Star Trek fan growing up?
Star Trek not so much, but the one I liked was